Hello everyone, Kylie here from Rebel Heart Journeys with A Forest Feels. Today, and probably for quite a few of the videos now, aren't going to be in the forest. Where I am house sitting at the moment, it's such a beautiful location, as you can see behind me, that I feel I don't need to go to the forest because I've just got all these beautiful trees and environment around me that I am certainly tapping into. But I will be going to the forest at times. But yeah, I just thought, why have to make a special trip when I can just do it here? So I will. I hope everyone's well. We've just had the full moon eclipse last night. That was pretty intense leading up to that. I'm curious to know how people were going. Of what I could see, there was a lot of stuff going on. I know personally for myself, a lot of old memories were coming up that clearly needed to be healed and released. Things I've never really thought about for a long time, and some came up in conversations I was having with friends that I've looked at in the past, but not to the full extent that it needed to be looked at, or there was an aspect that I just totally forgot about. And it was only when we were chatting, it's like, oh yeah, that really did affect me. So releasing that and doing work around it. And that's what the full moon, this one especially, has all been around, is letting go of what doesn't serve you, and that's including relationships and work, whatever's not in alignment with you, what's not making you happy. And if you don't do something about it, something will happen with that. You'll be put in a position where you wouldn't have a choice. So there's intense energies around that. And another thing that I have noticed, and I suppose more so because where I'm house sitting, I'm looking after quite a few different animals, and that's been a huge learning curve in itself. Like chickens, didn't really have much to do with chickens until now, and have learnt a lot about chickens, and I think I've still got a lot to go around that. I've had interesting observations of them and dealings with them. Alpaca, and there's a dog and cat here. The cat, when I got back recently from York Peninsula, when I got back, I was just sensing something wasn't right with the cat, and they're feeling all this stuff too. We've got to keep that in mind, that animals are hugely sensitive to the energies. And the cat wasn't quite right. And I think on an energetic, because energetically I was picking something up, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. But I could sense it was something in the back end of her. And then as time went on, so I kept watching her and doing some energy work with her, and then eventually it did turn into a physical ailment, which was a urinary tract infection. And from what I gather, the cat gets this quite often. And talking to the vet, stress is something that creates that. And because I've been here, then I went away for the weekend, so someone else came and looked after them. Then they've gone and I've come back, and you kind of forget that these sort of things have an impact on animals. I've noticed since I've come back, they've stuck to me like glue, the cat and the dog. I'm quite surprised she's not right here. She has been when I have been outside sitting on the cushion behind me, or beside me, or walking in front. But I've fed them, they're probably quite satisfied now, so maybe that was why, because they're fed. And the dog's pretty well lying on my feet. But they're picking up a lot of this. And what I was finding, because I'm empathic, so I can feel something's not right. So then I start to worry what's going on. And then they could probably feel that, which then makes them feel more stressed, because animals don't really, like, especially with my dog, I know for sure, she does not let anything slip. Like, a lot of animals like to hide. They don't want their owners to know they're not feeling well, because you know they're in that want to please mode and don't want to worry. And you know, I can understand why, because when they're not well, I start to worry, and then they can feel that, and then you know, it turns into this revolving circle where you start stressing out. And then you know, I had to take a step back, because I was talking about this the other day with someone, that you know, I started to think, am I now projecting my energies, my fears onto the animals? Because you know, I've been saying quite a few times, because I've already had a chicken put down, and it's like, you know, I don't want anything to happen to any more animals, and I always keep saying, not on my watch. So a lot of this is like stressing me out, thinking, oh my God, I don't want the owners to think, what on earth is she doing? But all this stuff keeps coming up, and then that I start worrying that I'm putting it on them. So it's something I've had to be very mindful of, to just step back, breathe, ground, and just, you know, take whatever comes as it comes. So yeah, it's been interesting times, and because that's, you know, the part of me as well, that rescuer, you know, you want to rescue. And I find it like, you know, I do it with people, but more so with animals. Like, you know, animals, I just want to go in and help them as much as I can, and sometimes it can get in the way of doing that. But you know, they're just so beautiful. You just want to help them. So that's been my observations this past couple of weeks. And also seeing on Facebook, I can't remember if I've mentioned it, you know, I've seen quite a few people saying, you know, that their animals have been put down, or they're in the vets getting surgery, and there's just some intense stuff going on with the animals. And, you know, they're here to heal or open our hearts. And, you know, sometimes that is through loss, because the grieving and the love that you have towards that animal really comes up. So, and you know, they're here to heal our hearts as well, like when they're with us. You know, they're massive heart healers. I certainly found that quite a few years ago when I was living in the UK, and we got a pet rabbit, and at first I was like, a rabbit? I don't want a rabbit. And then, you know, he won my heart. I don't even think it took a few hours. I reckon 10 minutes and he was in. And, you know, I absolutely adored him. And, you know, he was a massive heart healer for me. And my dog as well. She's such a beautiful girl. And, yeah, they're here to do that. So I highly recommend you give your beloved fur babies a super big cuddle during this time. And try to keep your energy stable and grounded as well, because when you're going through all of this stuff, they're picking up on that too, and that creates as well, like as I said, like then you get that cycle. So that's what I've been doing. And you know, so grounding, I mean by firstly nice deep belly breaths, and just breathing in that life force. And even just starting that deep conscious breathing is enough to really calm you down. And then from there, after you've done a few cycles of that, breathing down through your base, so through the base of your spine, down your legs, through your feet, and connecting with the earth, and just feeling that energy connect with the earth. And then open up your feet chakras and just feel as, like, even if you can't feel it, imagine it that there's roots growing down into the earth. And then when you breathe out, breathe that energy out from the earth up into your body. And I find that really helps. There are a lot, there's a lot more you can do with that, like connecting with your earth chakra at the base, at the core of the earth. And, there's a lot more you can do. But for here and now, I think that's always a nice little entry point. And doing that regularly really does keep you more grounded, stable, and your energy a lot more calm. And you'll find the animals respond to that. They're a lot more calmer, and they tend to stick around me a lot more when I do that. If I'm a little bit more frantic, they, I can sense they're stressed as well. So, and, tonight will be perfect for that, because just then I just heard a rumble of thunder. We've got a storm coming tonight, and I know a lot of animals do get stressed, and people as well get anxious with storms. I met a woman today when I went up to the library, and I don't think she was a homeless person, but, we had a bit of a chat. And she was talking about the storm coming and how anxious she was feeling about the storm. And I was thinking afterwards, I should have told her, at least given her some techniques to breathe and connect with the earth, or at least just breathe to help with that anxiety, because it can make a big difference, especially if you do it frequently, at least a couple of times a day, or every time you start to feel stressed. The week that's just been, I had to go a few steps further on a couple occasions. So the bushflower essences that I highly, highly, highly recommend, and that I make up, they have an emergency essence blend, and I have given it to people over the years. And I actually had to crack the bottle open the last few days just to help me manage what was going on, because I was just, stressed about the cat plus other stuff that was going on in my personal life. And yeah, I just really needed it. And it's like, oh my God, get the emergency essence, drop that. And, I felt so much better after that, and just really cleared me up and took me out of that state of overwhelm, because that's what I was starting to feel. So that's, and I said, we're going to have this, today feels a lot clearer since the eclipse has passed. We're hurtling towards Christmas, so, time's going to go really quick now until the end of the year. So it's a case of buckle up. And, a lot of stuff coming up, but the most you can do is whatever's coming up, just heal it and acknowledge it and release it to the higher powers, your higher self, Earth, Mother Earth. And that was the cat just wandering by. Furby, she's such a beautiful girl, such a sook. I've got some very cute photos of her lately. So interestingly, the card that I pulled is 9 of Cups. So I'll stick it on that side because that's closer to where the camera is. So that's a pretty nice, positive. That's abundance, and good things are coming. But what brings my attention, because when I was saying about the grounding exercise, as you can see, like there's this spraying, like this bright light, and one exercise I run people through that helps also is the core star energy. So it's a case of tapping into your inner universe, your inner spark, spreading that energy out into your physical body and just really feel that build up. And then you can explode that light out. And what that does, it clears your energy of other people's shit. So if you're carrying other people's energies or projections or anything like that, this is a great way of pretty well like, bang, explode it out, return it back to the source that it came from for healing. And it's such a powerful exercise. What I might do one time is actually do just a specific video around doing the full grounding, full core star, because I think that would be a handy tool to have. And also being the yellow's the bright as well, so it's also very much solar plexus, your inner power as well, tapping into your power. And you know, I know this is coming up a lot for me as well, because I've sort of been shrinking back and I need to really step up now. And, you know, I think that is with a lot of people. It's like, okay, time to really get in and get going, and taking your power back from people who have taken that from you. And you know, that by doing that, you will receive great rewards for that, because as soon as you take your power back, no one can control you, and that can be anyone. And taking that power back just gives you that sense of you can do anything, and will bring great abundance. So I'm just going to read the affirmation for that card. So 9 of Cups. So, you know, I'm just sort of flicking over what else the information's got here. It's like, you know, choosing joy, manifesting your dreams, gratitude, abundance. So, you know, they're all the good words, you know. That's all what we want, isn't it? I know I certainly do, and that's what I'm focusing on. So this is like the wish card as well. So what have you been wishing for? And I know that I've started to do a list on what I'm wanting. And that was part of last night, was like, okay, what am I going to let go, but what do I want to come in as well? But I don't want to control what's coming in, and because that's one thing I've noticed with myself is control. I'm always trying to control the outcome. And so it's a case of trying to take that back seat. Obviously not be a complete backseat driver and just let everything happen, but not to try to control other people, the way they think and their outcomes and all of this. So yeah, what have you been wishing for? And just allow that to come to you. So the affirmation, and I love this because it's on page number 111. I've been seeing 1111, 111 so much lately, which is fantastico. So I open my grateful heart to the gifts that are coming my way. I open my grateful heart to the gifts that are coming my way. I open my grateful heart to the gifts that are coming my way. It's always good to say it 3 times. I don't know why, but I just always seem to say things 3 times, just sort of, because the first time you sort of just like are reading it, and then as time goes on you sort of absorb it a lot more. And you know, I'm a big believer of the number 3 and the power of 3, the Holy Trinity. So gratitude, open heart. So yeah, fantastic. Just while I finish up, you know, I'd really appreciate it. I'll do the normal spiel. If you can like this video and also subscribe. I'm slowly getting the habit of doing this. And also this Friday night, so the 11th of November, so 11/11, I have the third eye chakra class, which is more like trance music, so that's going to be pretty good. There's a couple of spaces left for that. And also on the Sunday, I've got the guided meditation with myself at Carpe Diem. And that one will be a shamanic journey. So the weekend just been, I was doing my level 4 practitioner again in shamanic practices, because every time I do it, you learn so much more, and it's always different. So, and that's usually focus a lot on journeying and taking people on a journey. So it'll be good to do that again on Sunday. And then next month in December, there's the crown chakra, which will be the last of the series for this year. I am thinking of doing an all 7 chakras and just mixing it up and seeing what else I can do. I've got a couple of things bubbling in my mind, and I've probably been saying it for a while, but I think that's where having that power and taking it back and self-drive to get some outcomes that I'm looking for. And also throat chakra, that was cancelled last month for a couple of reasons. I wasn't well, plus I didn't have enough bookings, so I'm going to redo that at some point as well, because interestingly at that time I know that I had to work on my throat chakra, and out of all the classes, that's the one that got cancelled. So that's highly important, because that's one of the most closed chakras that people have. So we'll be revisiting that one, I think. So enough from me, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. I hope you're all well and navigating and bringing in the joy and the abundance that life has to offer us. Take care. Much love.